Hello everyone, this is VJose 32 back again, and I decided today that I would do some Q&A. What the hey, why not? So some of these are questions that I see from time to time, others are questions that I thought you might have an interest in. Number one, how many decks do I have in my collection? Currently, according to my list, my collection on portfolio52.com is 3,191, not including more that I got coming that I haven't added yet. So I'm definitely at like 3,200 by now, including those ones, if not more. That's ridiculous. Never in a million years did I plan to have that many decks, or do I want to have that many decks, but here I am. What is my favorite deck? I have 3,200 decks basically. It's really hard to kind of narrow it down to one, but one of my all-time favorites has always been the Jack Sellers. I'm also a fan of the Artifice decks. Tally Ho Circlebacks has always been a favorite. Split Spades, I'd probably say Monarchs if I was selecting one from Tier 11. There's so many. How many videos do I have on my channel? I just checked. Currently I have 3,915. Ridiculous. I know. How do I get sponsored? How do I get sponsorships? Well, for the most part, they come to me and make an offer to me. A lot of the times it's, help me promote a Kickstarter project, and I'll send you a deck, or I'll send you some prototypes to review. Other times, like with Murphy's Magic, for instance, they sent me an email making an offer. And it's been like that for the most part. I have reached out to some sites about sponsorships with very little success, if any. I know other people that have done that and had some success. A lot of times it's just, let them come to you, basically. I know a lot of people ask me about getting sponsorships, or how to get sponsorships, and really you need to have a viewer base. Like I have almost 10,000 subscribers right now, well over 9,000. I don't get that many views on my videos, but I still have a lot of subscribers. I have a lot of viewers. I have notoriety, if you will, in the card community. Whether you love me or you hate me, pretty much everyone knows me. And a lot of people do trust and appreciate my reviews and how I do them. So that helps. You're not going to get a sponsor if you only have a few hundred subscribers, or a couple dozen videos, or a dozen videos, whatever. I've got over 3,000 videos, almost 10,000 subscribers. I've put in a lot of effort, done a lot of work. I have a huge variety of decks on my channel, which a lot of people seem to appreciate, and that's why I have sponsors. Next question: how can I afford all this? The answer is I can't. It's quite expensive. I probably, more often than not, spend a lot more than I should on playing cards. I'm fortunate that I still live at home, even though I should be out on my own at this point in time. I don't have a lot of expenses outside of collecting, and I buy video games and I pay some rent, but I don't have, like, unlike some women, I don't have a huge wardrobe. I don't have a whole bunch of shoes. I ultimately don't end up buying a lot of food because I still live at home. I don't live too far from work, so I don't spend a lot of gas at the moment. So I'm fortunate that I don't have a huge amount of expenses, but that could change obviously in the future. But anyways, so reality is I can't afford it. I do have quite a bit of debt on my credit cards. I'm trying to pay off, but it seems as soon as I make payments, I re-add all the debt. Oh, good Lord. Don't get into collecting. It's a bad habit. It's a bad thing. So yeah, basically, how can I afford it? Yeah. I can't. I don't afford it. It's not like that. Well, the next question. What is my job? People like to know what I do for a living. Currently, I work as a woodworker in a factory, making furniture, armchairs, and sofas. I get paid okay. I get paid a bit more than what minimum wage is in the area, which is fine. I get paid what I was getting paid when I was working in construction. Basically, for the last 8 or 9 years, I worked in construction. Tried to become a carpenter. Did the carpentry course. Never got anywhere. I was pretty much stuck as a laborer wherever I went. Didn't enjoy that. And then, of course, there was seasonal layoffs here and there. Just layoffs in general here and there. And that doesn't help with expenses if you're sitting on your ass all the time. Collecting unemployment, which unemployment, by the way, at least in Canada, pays you nothing really. Not a whole lot. It's like a couple $100 a week. How are you supposed to live off that? I don't know. So that's my job. It pays decent enough. I'm pretty happy with it. What is my heritage, background, whatever you want to call it? Some people think because of the name Jose that I am Hispanic. I'm not. I am Portuguese. That's why I say Jose instead of Jose. Jose would be Hispanic. I used to say Jose back early on in the day. This might be a bit confusing. I used to say the Jose for ET all the time. But now I say VJose because that's the proper way to pronounce my middle name. And because I'm Portuguese. What is my most expensive deck? Probably the one that cost me the most, theoretically, was the David Blaine Microsoft deck. It did cost me $500. I had to spend $500 on Conjuring Arts to get the deck for free. Now, I did spend it $500 in gift cards, which I then turned around and used to buy a bunch of decks on the website. So kind of, in the end, it cost me nothing. Like it was supposed to. It was $500 to get one free, but still, $500 in gift cards to get the deck free. Pretty expensive. I do have other ones like the original gold monarchs, the blue and gold back monarchs. That was the original monarch before they went with the standard blue ones. That one, I think there was 130 that they ended up selling. I did get one of those. It did cost me $130 or so, whatever it was. And of course, the original, the first 2 editions of Smoke and Mirrors, those both cost me like $130 for the set, for each one. And I'm not sure what else I might have that was expensive. That was overly expensive. I try not to spend too much money. Those are probably the most expensive ones I have. What is the most valuable deck in my collection? That's kind of hard to say. I mean, it's kind of in the eye of the beholder, if you will. Different people value different things in different ways. Probably some of the ones I named already. Probably the Red Artifice. Probably some of my vintage decks that I have. Like an old Steamboat deck that I got. That's got to have some value to it. Some of the Playboy decks, perhaps. I don't know. And then again, you have to take into consideration, almost all my decks are open, so that kind of reduces their value a little bit. Obviously, like I said, the Smoke and Mirror ones, first edition, second edition, pretty rare, I think. What is the oldest deck I have in my collection? That would have to be, I have a couple of old decks from the 1800s. One of them is the Nile fortune telling playing cards, which you can find on like Etsy or Ruby Lane. without too much effort. It's there, but still, it's from the 1800s. Pretty cool fortune telling deck. There's another one from the 1800s, which is, I've got to think is pretty rare, or old anyways, and also pretty rare, which is a traveling salesman type deck. It's got like 3 or 4 different colors. I think it's blue, red, green. In this back design, I forget, was it Piatnik or was it, I forget which company it is. It's some European company. And it was a deck of cards that the salesman would go around and use to show off and sell to people, basically. So it's pretty interesting and unique, that's for sure. I also, like I said, I have an old Steamboat deck. I think it's Steamboat. Yeah, Steamboat. Again, from like the 1800s. So I've got some fairly old decks, a few. What is my rarest deck? Well, that is kind of difficult to see because I got a lot of decks that could be considered rare. A lot of prototypes from Kickstarter, some of them, you know, pretty unique, pretty rare. Obviously, some vintage decks. Some of these other decks, like the original Monarchs, etc., etc., Centurions. I got a lot of decks that could be considered rare. Which one would be the rarest? It's hard to say. Here's a question I get from time to time. Does this deck have a gaff card, or a blind card, or a double backer? My answer is, did you not watch the video you just posted a comment on? Because the answer is in the video. The video is the key. Watch the damn video. You'll get your answer. I don't understand why people ask these questions. Just watch the video. It's not that difficult. Where do I keep my decks? My decks, I keep them, most of them, are in my closet in boxes. I lay them flat on top of one another to try to keep them from warping. I do think if you keep them straight upright, it should be fairly fine, especially if they're, you know, in there fairly tight. But if they're loose, they might warp. Like the tuckers is, you know, loose, it might warp a bit. I would think anyways. But that's how I keep them, and I keep them all in boxes, shoe boxes, in my closet. I got a bunch underneath my bed that I need to put in boxes that just it's slacking on. So that's where I keep them. I don't have any displays. I don't have room for displays. Another question I get from time to time, how do I buy decks from Murphy's Magic? Well, Murphy's Magic is a wholesaler. You can't just go on the website and buy stuff. You have to buy decks that Murphy's Magic has from other sites like PlayingCardDecks.com or Hocus-Pocus or Penguin Magic or Collectible Playing Cards, etc., etc. I get them decks from Murphy's Magic because they sponsored me and they gave me access to buy stuff on their website. And so I get to buy stuff at wholesale prices, which is awesome, I would say. So that's how I get to buy stuff from Murphy's Magic. It's part of the sponsorship deal I have with them. They gave me access. You can't yourself as an individual buy stuff from the websites directly. You would have to buy it through one of those other sellers. Will I do some more card classes? Probably not. The problem is I have over 3,000 decks and they're kind of all over the place, and I don't really have any kind of organization going on for the most part. So trying to find decks to do specific card classes is a nightmare. I've had people, you know, make suggestions, you know, I want to see this versus this. That's all fine and dandy. I'd love to do it, but the question is, where is this? Where is that? I don't know. Until I have some kind of organization, which I don't know if that will ever happen. I don't think too many card collectors have a whole lot of organization in their playing cards collections. It's just hard to find. And then, of course, people make suggestions that I really don't have much interest in doing. Like, people have suggested, oh, can you do a card class with like a red rider back versus a black rider back? It's the same thing. It's just a different color. Or something truly weird, like a rider back versus versus you know, a deck from, like, say, Gambler's Warehouse or whatever, collectible point cards. I like to have my card classes be decks that are similar theme, similar style, like, say, Monarchs versus Artifice, for instance, or Riderback versus Circleback, for instance. Not, you know, two decks that are quite different. Two Dragon themed decks, you know, something like that. A lot of email things popping up on my screen. So I'd love to do card classes. The problem is it's difficult because I don't know where anything is. Will I do a deck collection video? I'd like to. I may do one very, very soon. The problem is doing one, as I mentioned in the previous video, with over 3,000 decks. I don't have the room or the time or the energy to lay them all out like I used to and go for each one individually. I would have to do things, yeah, you know, plus, I mean, my camera batteries would never last that long. I would run out of room, memory. I would have to, you know, do it in parts, which I may do. We'll see. I'd like to do it. How many videos do I have on my channel? Oh wait, we answered that already. Duplicate question. Stupid me. What is my collection worth? Let's do that one instead. Well, my deck collection is definitely worth in the thousands of dollars, Wayne, that's for sure. Maybe tens of thousands. With the amount of decks I have, the value some of them have, it's got to be up there. I don't have any estimates. Don't know how to answer that. What is with my username, VJose32? Well, let me tell you. First of all, VJose32, when I created that, it was just like, you know, most people that create a username just to comment on videos and watch videos. I had no plans to make any videos at the time I came up with that, or to be a channel, or, you know, famous YouTube star or anything like that. Which I'm not a famous YouTube star, I would say, but the name itself was the name of the email account I used at the time, which came from, basically it's three different things. V is the initial of my first name, Victor, which some of you more familiar with me would know that. Jose is my middle name. A lot of you will comment and say, hey Jose, what do you think about this or that? That's fine. I don't mind people calling me Jose. At 32 was my age at the time when I came up with that email / YouTube account. So that's what VJose32 is, and it's kind of stuck. When did I start collecting? I believe it was in 2010. I kind of started off with a Talia Circleback. Fell in love with it after seeing it on some YouTube videos, probably mismade videos. I was watching a lot of those times, a lot of those at the time. And then I started looking at decks online, started buying, and it just kind of went from there. Do I have a website? I used to have a website, thecardclub.net. There wasn't really anything going on there. I had it set so my videos would show up, my new videos would show up there whenever they're uploaded. I had a store, sort of, but I didn't sell anything there except I used it to sell stuff to people. But it seems like, I mean, there's not much point in spending money on a website if it's just gonna kind of sit there and not do anything. So it's gone now. Do I collect anything else? Sort of. I mean, I do have a collection of WWE Championship toy belts, because I'm not going to spend $300 to get real belts. That would be ridiculous. I'm more than happy with the ones I have, and I do have a bunch of them. I do have, from different Kickstarter projects, some coins and poker chips and dice. Small collections of those, and you know, a couple of minor things, nothing major. Nothing I collect as much as I do playing cards or as regularly. Do I have any cards for sale? Yes, I have a bunch of cards for sale. I've had a bunch of cards for sale for quite some time. The problem is, I've done videos showing you decks that I have for sale. You can probably go back and find them. I've posted lists on my Facebook group, on United Recordist. I haven't had any bites. Nobody's really been interested in a whole lot of what I have. A lot of the stuff that people have been interested in, I no longer have. And those lists are kind of out of date. But if there is anything that you are interested in, that you're looking for, give me a shout. I might have what you're looking for. Just let me know. I especially have, what happened to my light in here? The sun must have shifted or something. Anyways, I especially have a lot of decks in my collectible playing cards and other random Kickstarters. Illusionist, collectible, Conjuring Arts, etc., etc. That's what all these emails are about. DeVoe has launched a new deck, by the way. The Falcon, it's in the Master Series, Falcon Throwing Cards. Printed by USBC. How exciting. How so exciting. Anyways, so yeah, I do have decks for sale. They're just kind of all over the place again. The list is kind of a mess. Will I do a giveaway? Maybe. Again, I spend a lot of money as it is at doing giveaways. It costs even more money. I'd like to do them. I may get into that. I may do other stuff. In the future, we'll see. If not, right now, maybe in the new year, we'll see. Where can you give me a deck of cards? No. I don't like it when people ask me if they can have a deck of cards. I can give them a deck of cards. I spend a lot of money, as I've already established, on my playing cards, on my collection. Most of the decks I get, I just get one of each. I don't get duplicates because that would double or triple the amount of money I'm spending. And the ones that I do have duplicates of, I get duplicates of because I want to have a duplicate of. And it's not very many, as you can probably tell from my videos. From my unboxings every week. Usually I just get one of each. 90% of them, probably one of each. So it's not like I have a lot of stuff to give away. And like I said, it costs me money. I understand if people don't have the money to go buy the latest playing cards or to buy, bicycle quality playing cards or whatever. But there are alternatives out there, and I mean, I don't know, I'm not a charity. What is the worst deck of cards in my collection? I have quite a few that are not that great, mostly like souvenir decks, made in China stuff. It's hard to say which one exactly is the worst. Which one is the worst artistically, quality? I don't know. I can't really think of one off the top of my head. This is a question I get from time to time as well. Is this deck paper or plastic? Again, you're posting a comment on the video. Did you not watch the video? Because I always tell you the stock and the finish. And again, 90% of the decks on my channel, probably 90%, are paper or plastic coated paper decks from USBC, Legends, Expert Playing Cards, MPC, Carta Mundi, etc., etc. There is a playlist I have created with plastic playing cards that you can check out if you're looking more specifically for plastic playing cards, but I do tell you in the videos, specifically if it's paper or plastic. Well, I try to tell you the stock and the finish, or if it's plastic, or if it's plastic coated. Sometimes I don't have that information, but for the most part, if I don't have the information, I know it's other than finish, and that is that, basically. Are you a magician or a cardist? No. I have done some magic on the channel in the past. I do enjoy magic, card magic. I'm a fan of card magic, but I don't really perform it. I performed it only a couple of times for people that I knew, and I haven't performed it since, aside from on the channel. Cardistry, I'd like to consider myself, dexterous, if you will, but I don't seem to have the dexterity for doing all the fluorescein. I don't have the patience for that type of stuff. And as far as magic, again, performing, I'm a pretty shy guy. I don't have the balls to go up to people and say, hey, you want to see a card trick? So no, I'm not really a magician or cardist. I am a collector, and that's why I get the playing cards. But I do enjoy magic as well. Where do I get vintage playing cards? Most of them I get from Etsy.com. Of course, you can find them on eBay as well. Ruby Lane is another one, rubylane.com. And of course, I also get some from local thrift stores, like I did recently, a couple of decks. Why do you not get more views on your channel? I don't know. I think it's mainly because it's a very niche type of a market. Not everyone is out there collecting playing cards. There isn't thousands of people collecting playing cards. I do get views over time, so I think that's a good thing. It's not like some channels where they get like 1 million views or 1,000 views in a day, and then that's it. I do get views over time. People check on my videos over time. Playing card, collecting and playing cards. They're always out there. You can always look at the videos whenever you want. You can always find something new on my channel. There's always new people coming across my channel. So I mean, it's not like some videos where it's like, some people, it's like everyone just watches the video when it comes out and that's it. I do get views over time. And like I said, I think I don't get too many views because it is, like I said, it's a very niche type of a market, a very niche fan base, if you will. Where are you from? The greatest country in the world, Canada. At least it's a pretty good country anyways. It's better than what's down below us. By the way, we will always be bigger and better and on top of the US of A. They will always be our little bitch. And that is that. I think that's all the questions. Oh wait, there's a few more here. What is the weirdest deck in my collection? I don't know. Probably those air decks and like the Hoyle slices that are like this thin. They're like half the width of a regular deck of cards. Are kind of strange. There's some other ones that probably have weird artwork that I can't think of at the moment. Where can I get the VJose 32 deck? You can't. Unless you want to custom print it through like MPC or something yourself. I don't even know if I have the final artwork anymore. Artwork file. It was pretty limited with print run. I only printed 36 decks, 3 bricks. Wasn't cheap. I ended up giving away a bunch of them. Sold some. I never recouped my costs. It was way too expensive. And it didn't turn out as good as I would have hoped. The borders ended up being way too thick. Probably my fault. And my inexperience in putting artwork through a website. And then the quality wasn't the greatest either. Unfortunately, that's it. I mean, if any artist wants to get involved in designing a new VJose 32 deck, let's talk. Let's just say that. Will there be any magic contests soon on my channel? Maybe. I have been thinking about something, maybe for next year. The thing is, I don't know if there's really still a whole lot of magicians on YouTube. A lot of the ones that were around seem to have disappeared. I haven't really been following that lately. So I don't know exactly who would enter. Plus, I know a lot of things have changed on YouTube since the last time I did one of these magic contests. So I don't exactly know how you go about sending in entries, submissions. So, I mean, I don't know how I would do it, but I have had some thoughts about maybe doing like a monthly contest next year. We'll see. I wouldn't be doing the crazy amount like I used to do, like what, 5, 10 prizes. It wouldn't be a crazy amount to be like top 3 or whatever. The thing is, though, doing contests, I hate having to choose between this person and that person. A lot of people are really good, and it's kind of hard to choose between certain people to name a winner. And of course, there's some people that are just not great at all, unfortunately. No offense to anyone. But my suggestion is to keep trying, keep improving, and you'll get there eventually. So, yeah, it could be magic contests in the future, we'll see. What was my best find or deal? Two come to mind. Probably the best one would be a vintage stud deck of playing cards I found at a local thrift store for, 75 cents or whatever it was. I think it was still sealed. And it's a rare vintage stud deck that I've been looking for. It's like finding a Jerry's Nugget at a thrift store for me. I was so shocked that I found this deck. I wasn't sure what was going to be in it when I got home because it was sealed. So I wasn't 100% sure, but at first I thought it was just a stud deck. Oh, good. But then I turned it around and I'm like, this is not just a stud deck, this is the one I want. Let's get out of here. It's like those IKEA commercials where you feel like you're robbing the place. You're running away. It was such a big deal. And of course, yesterday I found a really cool, older, vintage 1980s Mickey Mouse deck. It was incomplete, it's missing jokers and a 5 of clubs, unfortunately. But what a find! Again, did not expect to find that. And again, like $1 or whatever it was for that deck. It was a pretty good find, I think. Always look at thrift stores in the area. Sometimes you won't find a damn thing. I went to 7 thrift stores yesterday. 2 of them, I didn't find a damn thing. 2 or 3 of them. A couple others, I found some decent stuff. Like the ones you saw in my video yesterday. So yeah, I mean, it's always worth looking around. And there's plenty of thrift stores that I didn't look at. Don't have time to go over them. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. But just because you don't find something one time doesn't mean you should stop looking. Always go back. They're always getting new stuff all the time. And one last question, I guess. What is my favorite card or magic site? And least favorites, I guess. Well, I'd have to say, obviously, Murphy's Magic. I have to plug them. I have to say them because I do get wholesale prices. Can't complain about that. I don't buy a lot of magic stuff anymore, but if I had to name a magic site, it'd probably be Hocus Pocus or possibly Penguin Magic. As for a playing card site, definitely have to say playingcarddex.com. Least favorites. I don't know that I have a least favorite magic website. I'd have to think on that. I don't know. Least favorite playing card site, I would probably say playingcards.net because communication is not the greatest there. I often see decks that are overly expensive. It's like they got some kind of algorithm on their site or whatever. When the stock goes down, the prices go up. The more it goes down, the more the prices go up. That just seems to be the way it is. And I don't think that's realistic or fair. Like some of the decks I've seen, like fairly standard decks, and they want like $60 for them. It's like, really? I know your stock is low, but that doesn't mean it's worth that much money. And Just the fulfillment side of things, customer service, not the greatest. That would probably be my least favorite point guard website. Magic site, I don't know that I have a least favorite. Not that I can think of anyways. So that is that. I think that's it for questions. If you have any questions I didn't answer, I apologize, the video's a bit long again. But if you have any questions I didn't answer or that you want access to, feel free to ask them below. I can always do another video. Comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what you think. Hit the bell, get notifications. Everyone tells you that. Hit the bell, like, thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hit all the buttons on my channel, except for the dislike. And it'll be all good. See you next time with more. Thanks for watching.